Hello, offensively incorrect here, and I'm wearing green, not because it's St. Patrick's Day, because it's the first motherfucking shirt I pulled out of my wardrobe. Anyway, this video gets into truth and religion, and I think about it a lot because I live in the Bible Belt, and I have a lot of evangelists come up to me, and they always ask me what I think, and most of the time I just agree with them, and just so they'll leave me alone. But then there are those people who try to get really pushy and find out exactly what I think, and I give them a piece of my mind, and it doesn't correspond with what they think, and they usually get mad at me and telling me I'm going to hell, and I said, that's a great way to lose an argument, buddy. Anyway, what do I believe exactly? Well, I'm what they call a deist. I believe in a higher power, but I believe that humanity's explanation for him is wrong, and that basically all religions are the same thing. It's man trying to put the higher power in what he understands, rather than that. I believe what Joe Rogan said is that the existence if God exists, he is an entity that we can't even wrap our heads around, and that makes sense because the two main parts of God are concepts that are very foreign to what we are. Humans are not omniscient, and we don't really think, and that goes in, and that's why we have trouble concept. We know what infinity is, and basically infinity applies to eternity, because eternity is just the infinite span of time. And when you hear the thing, testimonies that if they ever really did happen, the ones that make sense to me are the ones where they say they're transported to heaven or hell, and God shows them the concept of that, hey, this isn't now, it's not 5 minutes, this is for all time and eternity, and they get a taste of eternity, and that makes sense. If you're a being trying to show something, a higher being trying to show that something else you exist, well, once you show them a concept, they have trouble fathoming, and this is where I get into problems. I believe in a higher power, but I mean, I had trouble trying to explain to Christians why is atheism growing. I was like, well, it doesn't make sense. And in my mind, I separate atheism into two groups. There's the true atheists who have studied it, and they have come to the conclusion that it doesn't exist based on their research. And then there's a second type of atheists, which are angry atheists, people who are mad at the way Christians treat them, who are very religious people, but they're chided by a lot of people at church, and I don't blame them. I mean, that, in my early 20s, I was a pure atheist, and I was driven to that because I hate the way people act at church. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It just, religion, pure religion doesn't seem to make sense, because here it is this thing, or people using this philosophy to better their life, but yet when they're in this environment, instead of helping them, it makes them become what they didn't want to become, which is a judgmental being. But they use religion as they try to enlighten it. But that's the problem with Christianity versus an Eastern religion like Buddhism. Buddhism preaches an open mind and take it for what it is and learn about all things. And Christianity is, here's the truth, don't question it. And I have a problem with that. I question everything that's put in front of me. And I've read the atheist point of view. The last week, I've been on YouTube watching videos by famous atheists such as Seth MacFarlane, Adam Carolla, Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawking, the people who have very intelligent arguments for atheists. Seth MacFarlane, I have a lot of respect for Seth MacFarlane. Even though I don't see eye to eye, I think he has very intelligent arguments. He's just not one of those people who just... And I have as much problem with atheists that are just regurgitating Dawkins as much as I have problems with Christians that just hurl the Bible at you. It doesn't matter what you believe. It's just, I have problems I guess people who don't put thoughts into what they believe, or it's not even religious matters, just anything. I don't know, maybe that's my one of my Achilles heels as a human being. I just like people who have thought out reasons to believe what you believe. I don't believe it's right or wrong, and that's what I'm getting into. Truth isn't right or wrong. It's like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. And what's the truth is basically, my definition of truth is just basically, it goes along with the self-confirmation bias. It's living in a way where your philosophies, it makes you believe that your philosophies are the right one and you're heading the right path. And when you're headed on the right path, that makes it the truth, because it's headed in the right way. And truth isn't. It's like anything. I mean, does love exist? We don't know. I mean, our brains release certain chemicals, and I guess that's the scientific definition of love. I mean, when we're so-called in love, I mean, our brains release certain chemicals, but does that mean it exists? I mean, it can all be in our mind. The mind's a very powerful object, and that's my other problem. Religion is that they don't take into account that the mind's a very powerful thing. I mean, okay, we have things we don't have over control of, but I mean, we are very, like, the power of the human will and the power of the human mind, it's a very powerful thing, and we can go, if we truly test ourselves and truly believe ourselves, we can accomplish things that we never even thought of, and that's the problem, like with the society in general, not even like religion. It's that people give up too easily, or they think that because of one failure that, oh, it's not meant to be, when in fact, like, and that's my problem, like, people go, oh, it wasn't in God's plan, but if you, I mean, that can well be the case, but I mean, they do have another saying: God never closes a window never closes a door without opening a window. I mean, it's just a thing. There's more than one path to what you're trying to achieve in life, and the fact that you give up because of one failure or one setback, I mean, that's just stupid to me. I'm just one of those people who believe in that if you truly want something, truly believe it, you can accomplish it. Like, I had my review at work the other day, and I even said to my boss, I was like, hey, there's nothing in my life that I can accomplish if I can't set my mind to. And he goes, yeah, I agree with that. The sky's the limit for you. And that's not bragging on myself. It just goes to show you that a lot of, like, it's confirming that I do believe with the atheists on the part that a lot of Christians are sheep, and that they give up too easily, or that they use it. And this is another quote by an atheist. It's Seth Green. He says that people use religion to avoid responsibility, and a lot of times they do. I mean, I'm one of those people. I believe in a higher power, and I believe he does it, whatever it is that I'm given a path, but I also believe that despite I have a set path, my actions can influence that path, and that sometimes don't work out because for whatever reason. I mean, I very well could be wrong, and I accept the fact it could be wrong, and if someone comes along with, like, great argument or philosophy, I mean, and they say it to me, I'll accept it. It's not like my views are unchangeable, and that's the problem. Like, people get so set in their beliefs that they're unalterable, and I say it's like anything. If it doesn't adapt, it soon dies off, and that's just how life is. I mean, life, it's pretty consistent throughout. Whatever does not evolve dies off. And our philosophies need to be constantly evolving. We need to be constantly evolving, both physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We always need to be looking just to better ourselves a little way. And if we improve ourselves a little bit every day, we'll be that much greater of a person. And that's the thing. Some people, they need that belief in a higher power in order to reach a plateau where they're a better person. And other people's, they can look in themselves and look at philosophy and look at whatever view they have of the world and use that to better themselves. They can find something else to better themselves. I look at religion as just a path to self-betterment, but the problem is it's counterproductive, and a lot of times you realize, like, a lot of Christians are very judgmental people, and they're going to this institution for enlightenment and betterment when in fact they become the polar opposite of what they're trying to achieve. They become very closed-minded, very judgmental, and it just blows my mind. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Peace.